what it is that turns you on and gets you excited. But we don't always think about those things. We just think like, how do I stay in this state of constantly being like creative and excited? And you're not going to be. But when you can find touch points, that is when you start learning how to activate it for yourself.
You're listening to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. I'm your host, Jill Perrick, a business and mindset coach who specializes in imposter syndrome. If you feel like you're not as smart, capable, or worthy as you actually are, and that someone is going to find you out, then you've come to the right place. I went from being a struggling government worker, working my coaching business on the side, but feeling unworthy and burnt out, to making multiple six figures helping women overcome imposter syndrome so they too can sign clients, make bank, and have the business or career of their dreams. I am nothing special. I have a stuttering disability, ADHD, and I struggle with anxiety and depression. So if I can learn how to feel good enough and overcome my inner imposter, then so can you. Let's dig in.
I had a question from one of my clients that I really wanted to come in and share with you on the podcast today. And that was around the fact that she wanted to know, how do you come from a place of creativity and inspiration and excitement for your business when you don't always feel that way, when instead it can feel like obligation, it can feel heavy, it can feel like, oh, like I don't want to be doing this. And I responded to her in this way. And I think it's very important for you to know that this is going to be a podcast episode that tells you need to fucking hire a coach. You need to join a container. You need to get somebody to coach you, because if you are in this industry, and I don't care if you're a service provider, I don't care if you are a coach. Actually, I care more if you are a coach and you are going around thinking that people are going to invest in you, but you have not invested in yourself, or you say you're taking a break, or you don't need this, you don't need that. You wonder why business is stagnant. You wonder why things aren't moving. And it's because you are not valuing to the highest degree the very thing that you want people to buy. And this is related to what I coached my client on. And that was the fact that every single day I create an experience for myself where I am inspired and creative, where I am intentionally doing something that is going to spark my creativity. As a generator in human design, I have the strategy to respond. There is never a time where I sit down, stare at my laptop, and think, what should I say today? There is never a time I do that. I never open Instagram stories and go, what should I say today, right? I used to, until I learned like, oh, I'm a generator and I have to respond. So then I started curating my creativity. I started creating opportunities where I would be inspired and that I would be creative. So for example, something that I love to do is go for a nice long walk. I'm so excited that it's almost the summertime because I've been getting outside every morning. I take Ruby and Hugo for a little walk, and then I go for a longer walk, and I listen to podcasts. I listen to my coach's trainings, and I stay tuned in. And this is something that I really attest to my success, because in the beginning, you guys know, I was working full-time. I was working full-time for the fucking government. I was working different kind of jobs within that organization, and a lot of those jobs were shift work. So there were lots of times where I had overnight shifts, or I had 12-hour shifts, or I was going into work at like 5 a.m. and not leaving till 5 o'clock at night, right? And at the same time, I decided to grow the business, and it was very difficult, but I learned how to inspire myself into creativity, into excitement, even when I was dead fucking tired, even when I was so exhausted. And that was finding little pockets of time each and every day to inspire myself, to get creative, to listen to a training or listen to a podcast or tune into something or read something that was going to jumpstart my own thought leadership, that was going to jumpstart my own creativity. And we're not talking like, oh, I read something and then I regurgitated it on stories. No, not at all. I used it as a jumping off point as a trampoline towards the thoughts that I had and the beliefs that I had. Because again, in human design, I am a generator and I respond to things. And that is how I get my own creativity and ideas flowing. I highly recommend you figuring out your human design, not using it as a crutch or as an excuse, because I see a lot of that in the online space, right? Like everybody wants to say, well, I can't do this because I have ADHD, or I can't do this because I have this kind of thing in my astrology chart, whatever the fuck, right? We don't want to put labels on ourselves and tell ourselves that we can't do something, okay? So all of this to say, I was tuned the fuck in constantly. And this did not mean 24/7, but it did mean that I created intentional time each and every day. And I know you can too. Even if you're in the kitchen making your kids some food, you can pop in your fucking AirPods, and you can listen to a training that your coach just dropped in the group, right? You can go on a nice long walk and you can walk your dog. You can do whatever you need to do to get in that little pocket of time that is going to have you being excited about your business, being excited about the things that you have to say, being excited to share your story. The other thing too is the inner work, right? And I say this all the time when it comes to overcoming imposter syndrome, overcoming that feeling of not being good enough. You literally don't have a room to not feel good enough when you are doing the work. Another big reason to hire a coach, another big reason to join a container where you can immerse yourself in working on your self-concept, in working on who you are, in personally developing. Why did you start a business if it was not to ignite your own personal development? Truly, if you are not interested in evolving as a person, if you are not interested in becoming the best version of yourself, you shouldn't have a business, because that is what this is about. How can you lead people if you don't lead yourself? How can you lead people to a transformation and to the result that they want if you are not constantly refining and tweaking your own self-concept, seeing yourself as the leader that can help them do that? And this is why you see people talk about make the big move, do the big thing, hire the coach, or like you see somebody who hired someone and then all of a sudden they blew the fuck up. It's not always because of the mentor. It is, but it is also because you decided. It is also because you made a big move and you trusted yourself and you said, this is going to work out. It's also because you are immersed in the work. And again, I don't care if you're a service pro, I don't care if you're a coach, whatever you do, I don't care if you're a relationship coach, right? Or a health coach, whatever it is, when you are immersed in the work to improve yourself, to turn yourself into the leader that you know you can be, that is when you get the results. Because you're not spending a ton of time overthinking. You're not spending a ton of time being like, I'm not good enough and I don't know what I'm doing, blah, 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 blah. You have spaces to go. You have places to go. You have people that you can talk to that can bring things out of you. And this is why it's also very important to hire somebody that knows you, that can help you feel safe while at the same time activate you, right? I will always be an advocate for like doing your own work no matter what you do, obviously, because I'm a coach. But I just know that when I started, I did a lot of things that now I realized I was like, holy fuck, like I had it all figured out back then, even if I felt like I didn't, because I created those intentional pockets of time each and every day to feel inspired, to feel excited. And that led me to taking the action that I needed to take. And I was constantly plugged in to mentorship, to somebody or to their trainings, to their courses. It's so interesting because within the last year or so, I hired a coach, and something that I was disappointed to see was she didn't have a lot of work for me to dive into. And I'm not saying that it's a requirement for you to get things moving, to get things started, but I built up my offer suite, my courses, all of these things over time, and I think you should too, because there is something so valuable and amazing when somebody can dive into your world and they can see your work and they can binge your leadership. They can binge your voice. They can binge working with you, right? And again, don't use this as an opportunity to spin out and be like, I need to create 500 courses. No. It can be as simple as your podcast. It can be as simple as a couple of trainings, right? Hi, my love. I hope you're loving this episode. And I'm just dropping in to invite you to join the From Imposter to Empowered program, which is my group coaching program for coaches and service providers to overcome the imposter syndrome that is fucking holding them back. You know it is holding you back. It's that little voice inside your head as you're creating content, as you're showing up to sell your offer, as you are coaching your clients, as you're working with your clients, right? And it's affecting everything. It's affecting how you charge for your services. It's affecting the words that you say when you're selling your offer. And if you are struggling with this, you're not alone. And that is why I created the From Imposter to Empowered program, so you can be in community and overcome these thoughts and feelings. We're going to do the subconscious rewiring we need to do. We're going to do the mindset work. We're going to do the strategy so you know what you have to say to sell your offer and how to say it in a clear and confident way. We do it all inside of the From Imposter to Empowered program. And now you can join for 2 weeks and get a taste of the program for only $397. You can join and you can jump on a hot seat coaching call. We have 2 of those a month. You can also jump into the Telegram channel where you can see how we do Q&A 2 times a week, not a month, 2 times a week. I jump in there and do Q&A, and you also get a little taste of the curriculum, and you're going to be like, holy fuck, I need to unlock it all. And that is only $397 to join for 2 weeks and get a taste. Or if you are ready to commit, you can join for 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months. I have clients who re-sign into this program often because they love me, they love the work, and it is priceless to overcome imposter syndrome, to overcome the self-doubt and the fear, because these things are just going to keep coming up as you're trying to run and scale your business. So you can head to the link in my show notes and check out the sales page. If you have any questions at all, you know how to find me. DM me on Instagram at YourCoachJill. You guys know me, I love to be busy. So I'm always creating and doing things. But the important thing here is you realize that for you, for yourself, you need to be tuned in more. You need to be turned on more by your world and by the things that you do talk about, right? So this can be tepid advice because we also don't want to use it as an opportunity to copy somebody else. We don't want to use it as an opportunity to be like our coach. You're not supposed to be like your coach at all, right? I always find it so funny when someone's like, I can figure out who your coach is, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my God, I've never adopted my coach's personalities or their thoughts or anything at all, because I was just like, that's going to be so obvious if I were to do that. Like, that's crazy. But people do it subconsciously because they don't believe in themselves and because they're not tuning in to the work and they're not tuning in to the work that they need to do. So all of this to say, when I was coaching my client on this, it's not that I was right in terms of you need to go on a walk and listen to a podcast, right? It has to be unique to you. What are the things that cause you to be excited about your business? What are the experiences you have that you're like, fuck, I'm so inspired? Is it reading your testimonials? Is it going in and talking to your clients? Is it reading something that you already wrote? Right? There are a lot of opportunities for you to figure out every day what it is that turns you on and gets you excited. But we don't always think about those things. We just think how do I stay in this state of constantly being creative and excited? And you're not going to be. But when you can find touch points, that is when you start learning how to activate it for yourself, right? And you are the activator. Not only is your work on yourself going to massively benefit your audience and the content you create and how you show up, but it's also going to create transformation for your clients. It's also going to create the results for your clients because you believe in yourself. You have confidence in yourself. You know that you can help them get the result. And also, if you're not constantly working on yourself and evolving, this doesn't have to be an exhausting thing. I used to go to work all day and put subliminals in my ears, right? Because that was the only thing that I could do. Or before we went to sleep at night, I would read a chapter of a self-help book, right? It doesn't have to be crazy, but you have to intentionally create time for it. Because again, you have to realize that if you yourself have thoughts about the industry, have thoughts about coaches, have thoughts like, I can't invest right now, or I don't want to, or blah, blah, blah. Oh, you don't need to hire a coach for people to invest in you. It's like, okay, but like with that attitude, what are you able to create? With that attitude, what's actually happening? Because you are just going to project whatever you believe and whatever you think onto your audience. Right? That's why when you're struggling with money or you are really in scarcity, you think everyone else is too. You think everyone else is fucking broke and they have no money, right? And they can't afford to invest in you. And that's just not the fucking truth. People have so much money. There is so much money in the world for people to pay you with, right? But you don't see that. There's always more work to be done. The ego is going to come up over and over again saying, no, like you're fine the way you are. You need to accept yourself for the way you are. And it's other people that need this work, but you don't need this work. You're healed. How dare somebody assume? We all need it. And that's how you stay tuned in. That's how you stay on top of your own leadership. When you become the best version of yourself and you're committed to continuously working on yourself, people feel that, they see that. You are more creative, you are more excited, you're more inspired, you're more hopeful, you're more expectant, right? Like, even though I was working full time and I was exhausted and there was a lot of other things happening behind the scenes personally, like my childhood home burning down, my sister having to come live with us, there was so much stuff happening in my family, like there was a lot of things going on, but I made intentional time each and every day to focus on my goals and who I was becoming and who I had to be so I could create this life that I have now, right? In a house with a pool and a sauna and a hot tub. And like, I'm just thinking about this summer and how I'm so excited to be at the pool and to be talking to clients in Telegram poolside. And then my husband can come home from work and we can light up the fucking barbecue and we can have a drink and relax. And it's just going to be amazing. And I wouldn't be able to, well, I would be able to do that if I was working full time, but I for sure actually would not be here in this house because we would not be able to afford it at all, right? Like my business has given us so much, and it is because I work on who I am at the core of it all and what I believe and the thoughts that I'm having each and every day. And it is my job, and it's your job, to curate your creativity, to inspire yourself and find those areas of inspiration each and every day for yourself so you can be that turned on and tuned in version of yourself online, because that is a woman that makes fucking money. Okay? All right, you guys, when you're looking for a coach who's going to get you, who's going to help you feel safe, but also is going to activate the fuck out of you, you need to come and work with me in the From Imposter to Empowered program. And that is where you will break through the blocks, the imposter syndrome, the self-doubt, all that shit that you know is holding you back. You will get paid for who you are. So who you are authentically, who you are as a leader, and how you help people, because you'll truly believe that you can help them with the work that you do. And then you will sign high ticket clients from this space because it's just who you fucking are. You can head to the link in my show notes. We have a new 2-week taster where you can test out the From Imposter to Empowered program for 2 weeks. It's only $397. And then you're going to use that $397 towards your first payment because you're going to want to stay. Okay? If you're thinking about something more one-to-one, more personalized, I also have options for that as well. You can send me a DM at your Coach Jill. I love you guys, and I'll see you next week. Hey babe, thank you so much for listening to this episode. Screenshot it and put it on your stories and tag me at your Coach Jill. And if you really love me, you'll rate and review the podcast. And if you screenshot it before you submit the review and send it to me, I will send you a free gift on me. If you want to take this work deeper, come and work with me in the From Imposter to Empowered program or the Real Deal Mastermind. And finally, if you want just a snippet of my work to feel what it's like to be in my world, then you need to buy my best-selling book, You're Not Special, and you can get that on Amazon. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you next week.